keep asking yourself, is this relationship worth it? Or is it time to let go before you decide this one conversation might change everything? And here's how to have it step by step. The most impactful part of this process begins inside of you, long before any conversation takes place. If you try to talk to your partner with the weight of every past frustration in the front of your mind, it will almost certainly trigger defensiveness. The goal is to have mutual understanding, not win a series of arguments. Here are the steps to do some inner preparation before you have a conversation. First, take some time to get radically honest with yourself. In a journal, answer these questions. What do I truly hope for? Do I want us to find our way back to each other? Do I need to see a tangible effort from him? Or if I'm being completely honest, am I looking for the courage to say goodbye? Second, list your non-negotiables. These are not just preferences, but the core needs you have to feel respected and emotionally safe in the relationship. For instance, a non-negotiable might be that you need for y'all to find a way to handle disagreements without shutting down. Or it's important for you that you have a dedicated time to connect each week without distractions. Knowing your essential boundaries helps you feel more grounded. And finally, take a moment for some gentle self-reflection. Ask yourself, this can be hard, what is my role in this? This question is about recognizing the pattern you've both fallen into, not blaming yourself. It's important to recognize if you've been hinting at your needs instead of stating them clearly, hoping he would just know. Or that you've let small hurts build up without addressing them. Seeing your part in it empowers you to change the dance, allowing you to have the conversation with calm and confidence instead of blame. Now that you've done the inner planning, let's look at how you begin this conversation, because it often determines how it will end. The goal is to invite him into a dialogue, not to confront him with a problem. This makes your timing and your tone incredibly important. Here are some tips. First, avoid starting this conversation when either of you is tired, stressed, hungry, or in the middle of a disagreement. Instead, schedule a more relaxed time. Let him know you have something on your mind and ask when a good time for him might be to talk. Try reframing it as a team effort. Instead of the anxiety-inducing classic, we need to talk, try a softer approach. Something like, hey, I care about us a lot, and lately I've been feeling a bit disconnected. I'd love to find time when we can just talk so I can share what's been on my mind and hear how you're doing too. When would work for you? This approach does a few key things. It starts with connection. When you say, I care about us. You own your feelings when you say, I've been feeling, and it frames the conversation as a shared experience when you say, and hear how you're doing too. All of these signals, they're meant to say that this is about reconnection, not accusation. All right, now that you've done the inner work, you've got some tips in mind for successful conversation, and now the time is right to begin the first of these conversations. If you want it to feel different from past talks, it can help to have a template with 3 sections: my perspective, your perspective, and our path forward. Remember, this isn't about resolving everything at once, but tackling one issue at a time over a series of conversations. Start with my perspective. This is your chance to share what you've been experiencing. A helpful way to do this without assigning blame is to describe the situation, express your feelings using an I statement, and then state your underlying need. This is why the inner work is so important. The conversation doesn't stop with expressing your feelings. The whole point of the conversation is so that you can share what you need from the relationship. So instead of saying, "You never pay attention to me," it should sound more like, "The other night when I was telling you about my day and our conversation was cut off, I felt a little hurt and unimportant. I need to feel that my thoughts matter to you and that we can see our conversations through." Let's break that down. The other night when I was telling you about my day and our conversation was cut short, this is a situation that's based on facts. I felt a little hurt and unimportant. This is how you felt in that situation. I need to feel that my thoughts matter to you and that we can see our conversations through. Here you're stating what you need from the relationship. There's no blame, and you are owning how you feel and clearly stating what you need going forward. This is not the moment to air out years of grievances. Choose what's most affecting you right now, whether it's a lack of connection, feeling unsupported, or something else. But keep it specific and focused. Next is his perspective, and your main goal here is simply to listen, not to debate his points or correct his memory, but to listen with the genuine intent to understand his world. This can be the most challenging part. As he speaks, try to let him finish his thoughts without interruption. Sit on your hands if you have to. And to show you're engaged, use some reflective listening skills. For example, when there's a pause, you could say, "So, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're feeling ... Or, "It sounds like for you, the issue is ... This validates his experience and ensures you're both on the same page. You might learn that his withdrawal is rooted in his own fears or a sense of not knowing how to make things right. But you can only discover that by making it safe for him to be honest." And finally, you arrive at our path forward. After you've both had a chance to share, acknowledge his willingness to talk. You could start with something positive like, "Thank you for sharing that with me. It really helps me understand things from your side." Then you can begin to create a solution together. Based on the need you both discussed, what is one small concrete step you can agree to try together? If the issue is a lack of quality time, maybe you agree to a weekly walk with no phones. If it's about household chores, maybe you can work together to rebalance a few specific chores. The goal isn't a perfect instant fix, but a shared commitment to take one step in a new direction. And as you continue to have these conversations, they will ultimately reveal one of two paths for you. Consider it a moment of truth for the relationship's current state. The first path is reconnection. If he was able to listen, if he seemed open to your perspective, if he's willing to co-create a solution, you may have just opened a door to a new chapter. The true indicator, of course, is what happens in the days and weeks that follow. Do you notice small but consistent efforts? Does the space between you begin to feel a little warmer? If so, this talk may have been the very thing needed to spark positive change. The second path is clarity. You might approach these conversations with all the grace and patience in the world and still be met with defensiveness, blame, or an unwillingness to see your perspective. Or he might make promises in the moment only for the old patterns to return almost immediately. If this happens, please try not to view it as a personal failure. It is, in its own way, a gift. It is the clarity you were searching for. You did your part. You approached the situation with maturity and love. And his response, or lack thereof, has shown you that your needs may not be met in this relationship. And this clarity, while painful, can free you from the endless cycle of wondering, what if? It can give you permission to make a different choice, not from a place of anger, but from a place of profound self-respect and what you need to feel whole. Being at a crossroads like this can feel lonely and deeply uncertain, but you are not without power here. The journey toward either a renewed partnership or a peaceful new beginning starts with these courageous conversations. It starts with you getting clear on your own needs, opening a dialogue with love and intention, and staying open to the answer that reveals itself over time, whatever it may be. You have the ability to change the dynamic, and you have the right to feel seen, heard, and cherished in your relationship. And you have the strength to make the choice that honors you most, whether that means staying to rebuild from a new foundation or choosing to begin a new story. I'd love to hear in the comments which part of this process resonates with you most. The experiences matter, and sharing them can make someone else feel less alone. And if you're looking for more support in navigating relationships, be sure to subscribe. You deserve a love that helps you flourish.